It's time for Bookkeeping Beer and BS. So give us a little bit of background. I couldn't even, I tried to like tee it up in my like title that I wrote, but you run out of characters when you're like, he's got this business and he has this coaching certification and then he does Conquer and I was like, okay, we'll just talk to him about it. And I know you're the chief hugger and fist bumper.
Great
so
title.
I did put CHFB in the title as part of your, like, that is one of your titles. But tell us a little bit about what you got going on.
It's funny about the title thing because that's always weird. I'm a huge advocate of leading without a title. Mm-hmm. And the best leaders I find are ones that were already assuming the role before they had the title. And so, you know, for me, where I'm at in my journey, I have an incredible team and we'll unpack that a little bit as much as we can. But it's funny because everybody does have a title in our organization, and we just broke 100 team members. That's so in my day job. And
are you no longer like a small business anymore then?
I don't know what they call that, dude. I feel like we still, there's just weird stuff like when you meet people that are part of your team, like out in public and you don't know them. And we're there now, right? So like when I'll be at Home Depot and somebody will come up like, hey, my name's Tyler. And I'm like, oh, what's up, man? He goes, yeah, I work for, he'll say I work for you. And I never get down with that I work for you thing.
Yeah.
I like, you know, I work for Atlas, and, you know, for years that I worked so hard to build our brand. And this is something that I just am pushing so hard to unpack with all of the people that I'm blessed to get to coach, people that I just mentor. Every conversation I'm in is just the power of sales and brand awareness and brand development and marketing in general. And those that know me or those that I coach, they'll tell you Sam literally hates Google. And I'll tell you why, because it's like they just suck people's money from them for click ads or for click pay. And, you know, our business, even today, you know, we're right kind of in that 8-figure mark. And if we crest $500 a month in marketing spend, that's a lot. Like we must have had something going on. And it's because we're just so focused on that brand building and brand awareness. But I say all that because for many years, my identity was, oh, he's the Atlas guy.
Yeah.
And whenever people would introduce me wherever I was at, if I was speaking, if I was just meeting somebody at church or just in general, friend of a friend, it was like, hey, this is Sam. He owns Atlas. And it's like, everybody's like, some people just have.
Yeah, it's like a weird identity thing.
And it never, at first it was like, that's cool. Of course, I'm super proud of this incredible business that I've came from nothing and to be where we're at today. But the last like 3 or 4 years, I really just didn't want that to be my identity. I mean, granted, it's the girl that brought me to the dance. It's what put us on the map. But I look at it now like it's really just the platform to lift up other people. Like literally, it's like, hey, I know you're struggling with this. Why don't you come do a tour of our facility and just kind of see how we do things? And so where now, instead of it being like an identity thing, it's more of just a platform that can be used to help people all over North America. And man, if you would have told me that when it was like Sam on his X mark, just cutting lawns up and down my road, I would have just laughed at you. And just even Facebook reminds me on the whole on this day thing. Like I see some of the posts I would share 12 years ago and how stupid they were. Like I'm just thinking the growth of where I am today. Like I'm glad other people can't see my on this day because they feel like this is the same guy.
This is Sam? This is that guy?
I want to just clarify that this is the same, but I mean, just I would get involved with politics. I mean, I was an idiot. And I look at that now and I see these business owners do that. And I'm thinking to myself, you can have your beliefs. You should have your beliefs, but you got to keep that stuff to yourself, man. Like, you know what? People on the left spend money with landscape companies. People on the right spend money with landscape companies. Granted, some may be more than others, but it's not our place to get involved with that. We got to love everybody, man.
Yeah. And it always baffles me because when you're watching other people get into that, you're like, do you guys not see that you're just literally just egging each other on? Like you're both making the farthest, most outreaching, non-qualified statements to get a reaction, which is causing a reaction because that's what you wanted. And then you're bitching that somebody had the guts to react to your bullshit statement.
That was me, dude. I was the guy that would like poke the bear in comments and get fights going. But at the same time, I was working my hardest to just make sure everybody knew who we were. Every Facebook group, every marketplace, Craigslist. Like I would just be on every platform wanting to make sure whatever I could do at no expense because I didn't have any money. And so, but just going through, so, fast forward to today where you had mentioned like the title thing, the chief hugger and fist bumper, where that came from is really, that's like what I like to do when I'm in our organization, is literally just introduce myself to people, fist bump our staff, just encourage them. Maybe they're having a bad day, whatever the case may be. But I don't want to be necessarily responsible for a main role, whether it's business development, admin, finance, recruiting, any of that stuff. I kind of feel like you wear all those hats a little bit, but I don't want them to be what I have to do on a daily basis. And I'm like, literally, my most important meeting that I have of the week with my team is our staff meeting. Legit, that is my most important. It's just like a pastor with the Sunday message. I mean, how many people could like come to know their faith because of a message on a Sunday? So a pastor works like all week to build that message. Yeah. That's legit my role, to build up for that 1 hour a week meeting with my team, just to make sure that they are empowered, they know what's going on, that the stuff they need to know to make sure they're successful is being delivered to them. And so, yeah, that's where that title came from. I might change it someday, but you could go that, or you could call it the janitor, because you're just cleaning up stuff. That's the other title that you could put in there. But
I love the janitor. I feel like the janitor, though, is when you're scaling, and I'm not in your shoes, so you can tell me like, oh, you have no idea, Dan. But I feel like the most janitorial moments I've had in my businesses are when I'm scaling from like 4 to 10 employees, like going through that phase of trying to like find managers. Yep. And you think you have a good manager, but they're really like a technician, but they're a good technician. But then that leveling up of like a new skill set of people. That's when you're your most janitorial, because like you turn around and you think like, oh, they got this. And then you start working on that thing and you look back and you're like, oh no, what have we done? Hey, what's up, business nerd? Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you learned a heck of a lot watching that episode. Do me a favor, subscribe right down here. And if you really like what you saw, you got more goods right here. Check out this one, or check out this one, and do this. Go subscribe. Appreciate you. Work smarter, work harder, go earn yourself some pride. Catch you on the next one.